Hi, this is Angela with Parkrose Permaculture. It is the end of May 2017, about 8 o'clock in the evening, standing out in my backyard. I love being out in the garden this time of year. It's been in the 80s today, so unseasonably warm. But now in the evening, it's fantastic. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. So this time of year, the garden is not at its peak, but you can see things are just blooming everywhere. Everything is lush and green, and things are starting to leaf out. Even the things that leaf out very late, like my Illinois everbearing mulberry behind in the corner, there's a persimmon back here. Even the late plants to wake up are starting to wake up. So there's just so much potential in the garden, and I love being out here this time of year. There's tons of bees. In the evening, there's gobs of hummingbirds, lots of wrens. We've had lots of native birds around. This year in particular, we've had a large number of western tanagers, which is unusual, and they're a gorgeous bird, vibrant orange and yellow. Real treat to have had them in the garden so much the last couple weeks. So I wanted to briefly talk about an element of design in the garden. We have 1/4 acre, and that includes our orchard, which is a U-shaped perimeter of the yard, and in part of the front yard, and that has 34 fruit trees. We also have dozens and dozens of berry bushes and brambleberries, cane fruit. So for not having very much property, that 1/4 acre includes the footprint of our house and includes the large driveway that we have. We don't have that much actually arable land. Also the footprint of our shed, footprint of the chicken house, footprint of the duck coop. So we're able to maximize what we're able to grow here because of smart design. So people think of permaculture as like hippie gardening or natural gardening. It is a design system where you are using your intellect and your powers of observation to make smart choices in how you not only garden and use the land which you have available to, but how you align all aspects of your life and your home and your community to benefit people and the earth and increase fertility, reduce labor and hardship. So it's really about smart design. So when I look at this garden, I think, okay, 1/4 acre doesn't seem like that much, but I'm a homeschooling mom with 4 kids. I run a volunteer program for gardeners here 2 days a week for a nonprofit. I work part-time. I'm writing a book about gardening, which is a whole other job unto itself, trying to homeschool 4 kids and have quiet time to type and edit photos is crazy. So, but I'm hoping to get that book out in the next year. It's about growing, orcharding and growing fruit crops in the Northwest using permaculture methods. So when I have time to work in the garden, I try and tackle small areas. So permaculture emphasizes slow, small solutions and taking on only what you can handle. I've seen a lot of videos about permablitzes, where people come in and just wipe through an area and like, boom, a crew of 25 volunteers totally redoes someone's yard. That's not possible for me. I'm much more of a fan of taking on small, slow changes, something I can realistically tackle. So we did the rain garden. That was one project over a week. Other things like adding fruit trees or taking on a space. So this ugly space right here is going to be our pizza oven. I'm collecting rubble for biomass, not biomass, thermal mass for the inside of the oven. That's going to be a pizza oven. So I've taken out the beds that were there, and we're going to have a pergola and hopefully do a rocket stove there. So slow solutions. I'm getting there slowly. So we have what I would consider one farm, Parkrose Permaculture. That may be on a 1/4 acre. People might want to call it an urban farm, but it produces a tremendous amount of food and has a tremendous amount of productivity, brings in a tremendous amount of wildlife, especially for the space. So within the context of that farm, I have multiple gardens. Okay, so Like I said, there's the rain garden here. I have an annual veggie garden, which I'm going to walk around this way and show you. In the perennial gardens, I tuck in annual veggies, but I have this area here, which is exclusively annuals, which is why it looks like not much right now because there's tiny things in it that are just coming up. So this is an annuals garden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds built on contour with swales. And the amount of intense sun that gets is just really conducive to growing tomatoes and squash and things like that. So leaving that as an annuals garden tends to benefit our family, benefit the program that we work for, volunteer for, and also maximizes the use of an intensely sunny space. I have the kids' fairy garden here. I'm going to walk around my 5-year-old here and not step on him. So I have the fairy garden, which is an apple guild. So designing around one tree. This is one garden, this small space. The kids wanted a fairy garden and I wanted to have an apple guild, and we worked together designing and putting plants in here that they wanted, having their various fairy garden things in here, seashells and doodads they leave for the fairies, and being able to fit that in. So this is one of the earliest guilds that I did, just taking time to design around this one tree and thinking about this one garden. So I would encourage you, even if you have a small yard, to think about breaking it down into spaces where you are taking into account the sun aspect, the drainage, the soil conditions, and utilizing small areas you can tackle in a weekend project or a week, and thinking about just doing what's realistic and not getting overwhelmed with your garden. We've been here 8 years and it's constantly a work in progress. And I have ugly places in my garden, like that area where I'm going to be putting in a pizza oven. Nothing is perfect from the get-go. I think it's okay to start with small areas and feel successful reshaping and implementing a small space. Set yourself up for success. Start with something that's realistic to tackle, something that you can feel like, wow, I accomplished something. I transformed this area. I have a garden space that I really like. Now I can add on to that and work in an adjacent bed, or beginning in a new spot in my yard to take on my next project, instead of feeling like you have to permaculturify your entire yard at once. That's not how permaculture works. That's not how nature works. That's not how succession works in nature. Slow and attainable are things that you really should value, are concepts that you really should value in permaculture. And I think you'll find yourself a lot more successful, a lot more, thank you, George, a lot happier, George says. And you'll feel like you want to be in your yard more, and you'll feel like you can achieve the goal of eventually getting there to having your yard how you want it to be. So again, I encourage you to just go ahead and take a small space in your yard. Think, what can I get done in a weekend? What can I get done in a week-long project? And move on from there. If you liked this video, please click like, give us a thumbs up, I should say, and subscribe to our channel. I hope to have more videos out here in the next week. If there are things that you want me to talk about, or plants or design concepts that you would like to address, or things having to do with the poultry or permaculture in general, or things like that, please feel free and comment. I read all the comments. I did the video on rain gardens specifically because people on our Facebook page asked me to. So you can like us on Facebook, Parkrose Permaculture, and leave comments there, or here on YouTube, and I will definitely be open to suggestions. So again, click thumbs up for this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.